I'm Keirom and I work for Smartbox Assistive Technology. We're based in Malvern in Worcestershire. So an overview of what I'm going to talk about today. Paper-based AAC, for example, PECs, picture exchange communication, communication boards and communication books, electronic AAC, such as iPads and communication aids, sometimes known as VOCA or voice output communication aids, skills developed by using both and building on these, common fears about electronic AAC or high-tech AAC, moving to electronic AAC, and ideas for success. So, what is AAC? It's augmentative and alternative communication. So augmentative is anything that adds to and helps speech. So you may already have speech, but it may not be clear. And alternative replaces natural speech. AAC can take many forms, and the forms we commonly know are gesture and body language, facial expressions, eye pointing, vocalizations, and sign language. These are examples of everyday AAC that don't require any equipment or any support. So an introduction to AAC. Other AAC needs equipment, and this is sometimes called aided AAC. This can be paper-based, formerly known as low-tech communication. This might be a communication book, an aided language display, an alphabet board, or PECs. High-tech or electronic might be a dedicated communication device, which could be an iPad with AAC apps. So common form of paper-based AAC is a symbol communication board, which might look like these on the left, or an alphabet chart on the right. Both of these need a communication partner. So PECs is a picture exchange communication system, and this is where pictures are exchanged to communicate a message. There are 6 phases, moving from learning how to communicate using a single picture to combining pictures and forming sentences. PECs provides an excellent starting strategy which teaches the individual to seek out a communication partner and to be consistent in gaining their attention. So when might you use AAC with someone? If a person understands more than they communicate, cannot be understood by the people that they don't know, is using limited vocabulary, the words that they can communicate, is communicating for only a very limited range of reasons, for example, to request something, or has ways of communicating which may not be appropriate, so frustration may cause behaviour. So using visual supports are key to supporting communication and understanding. Words we speak disappear very quickly. So why electronic AAC? AAC has these advantages. It can be used to support understanding and expression, so a person can see what's being said to them as well as hearing it. This lasts much longer with electronic AAC, as messages can still be seen after they're said, and often they don't disappear unless they're deleted deliberately. It's a consistent model of speech. Electronic voices will say the same words in the same way. So when we might say something, we might say, go and get your coat. Please go and get your coat. I want you to get your coat. Whereas an AAC device will say it in exactly the same way with the same tonality. Language can be explored by the individual without needing a communication partner, similar to how young children may babble by themselves. So as they press it, the word's said back to them, and this is called babbling. Don't advise you leaving an individual with it all the time, but actually it's good for some exploration. Additional features such as a keyboard help develop literacy, text messaging and emails. These might provide more motivation for the individual using the device. So why electronic AAC again? This has advantages. It's possible to have more words than you can carry around in a communication book. Once an individual fills their communication book and maybe starts moving on to 2 communication books, it might be worth thinking about electronic AAC. Some individuals might be more motivated to use this. Electronic AAC gives constant feedback, so you'll always hear the word when you select it, and if your communication partner isn't looking when you point at a paper-based communication system, you may not get any feedback. Some software, like Grid, allows you to print, so you can have both the paper-based and the electronic AAC, which are the same. Electronic AAC can be easier for strangers to understand. It can be used by the individual to talk to other children and adults with autism. In the UK, an individual should demonstrate that they can use paper-based AAC to qualify for a specialist service referral for an electronic AAC device. So their criteria, and you need to look on their website for more information, are when a child understands the need for a communication partner and gaining their attention, when low-tech strategies and techniques have been tried, when they can initiate and direct communication, and if there is a clear discrepancy between the individual's understanding and their ability to speak. Speak to your local speech therapist or occupational therapist about referring into this service. These services are always open for asking if you want to ask for some advice. The charity or self-funding pathway can be looked at if an individual doesn't meet the specialised service criteria as mentioned before, if an individual is exploring cause and effect, if paper-based resources are distracting, i.e. peeling Velcro and shredding paper, words or pages get lost or posted down the back of a radiator or sofa. Common fears about AAC. It will stop speech development. There's no evidence that AAC prevents or reduces development of speech. In many cases, vocalizations, speech may increase after using a voice output AAC. There can be a quiet period, but think about when you visit foreign countries. So you tend to listen to what's going on around you prior to then after building confidence, trying to speak. So these are just some research, and no studies show a reduction in speech production, but they may also show an increase. Common fears about high tech. The learner will just play with it. Exploration is a real important part of language learning in AAC and for children who are learning to speak. So we talked about babbling before and saying words repeatedly. If you were showing this on a high-tech device, there are no words to it and you probably don't understand the symbols. So what are you going to do? Yeah, press them to see what happens. And that's the equivalent of babbling. So people are worried that they're going to lose the skills they've learned through the paper-based systems. For example, getting someone's attention before communicating. These can continue to be developed with their electronic AAC, and actually electronic AAC can't go with them in the bath or the swimming pool, so actually your low tech is still really important. Possible benefits of electronic AAC. Speech output reinforces spoken language. Synthesized voices are more consistent than human voices, as I've previously mentioned. Learners can babble and practice independently, although they do need a communication partner to help them learn what the words mean and respond to what they're pressing. They can have access to many more words, as I've said before, not just the ones you can carry around. No limit to the sentence length, and you can shout someone from another room. More possible benefits. Words can be added whenever, wherever. So you might be out and about in the community and some motivating thing happens and that can be added as and when. No printing, cutting, laminating or velcroing. Low-tech backups can be made by printing, so you've still got the identical replica. And opportunities for practicing literacy, so using alphabet, including phonics keyboards, and seeing the words read back to them. There are a wider range of words which support a wider range of communication functions, such as questioning, asking for help. And research shows that children with ASD can be highly successful at learning to request objects using AAC, but their primary difficulty is social communication. So your AAC must address this issue too. So just for a case study, PECs to high tech. Some speech Katie had, some very low intelligibility, single words and two-word phrases. So Play-Doh, toilet, crisps, mummy home, tomorrow, sing. Using PECs, she used them from age 5 to age 10 and was at stage 4. She was able to say more with PECs than with speech, so 3 to 4 word requests and commands. I want 3 hula hoops. I feel happy and excited. Today is cold and rainy. She had 2 PECs books. She was showing increased frustration and communication breakdown and was sometimes reluctant to use her PECs book. So moving to high tech, within 6 months, teachers and parents reported increasingly spontaneous communication, new communication functions, so asking questions, seeking reassurance, asking for help and protesting, telling a peer to stop singing. Increased speech clarity, so a word that was unintelligible, once it was said on her iPad, she could then repeat it more clearly, e.g. tangerine. And she started to indicate when she wanted a new vocabulary in her book, and she worked out how to add these herself. The word chocolate, very motivating. So the feedback after introducing the high tech was increased motivation, increased engagement, increase in vocabulary, more interest in new vocabulary, increased length of utterances, reduced frustration, reduced communication breakdown, increased confidence, increase in spoken language, clearer speech, more able to gain attention from others, calmer, use of humour. So there will be some challenges, but there are some strategies. To use an iPad during the class, during whole class teaching. So they quite often will press and talk through things when they're maybe not meant to be. This is an opportunity for teaching and reinforcing that wait card, or not now, or just telling them to maybe be quiet for a minute. Any child would need that input. So children with AAC are no different. They learn to wait and wait their turn. Using an iPad off topic, this is great, but they can talk about interests, they can talk about what they did at the weekend, they can provide you with lots more information that you maybe didn't know about this individual. It can be used by other pupils. So this can develop turn taking and show skills that maybe you didn't know before. There are more skills needed to use a device. For example, I need it charging, I need the volume to be turned up or down. And this is opportunity for teaching self-help. So ideas for success with electronic AAC. Aim for quick wins. Go with motivational content to start off with, using familiar and motivating activities. Start with words and symbols or work activities, again, that are already familiar. The communication partners are the key. It's okay to let them babble, but actually it's that communication partner that helps input those words and helps them learn. Show the learner how to use the high-tech AAC by doing it yourself. This is called modelling. And we've got another talk on simple AAC, which teaches you strategies for modelling. Provide opportunities throughout the day, not just at snack time. It'll take a long time to learn your device if all you can say is, I want crisps. Respond to any exploration as meaningful. So the communication partner responds appropriately to whatever they pressed, even if it's silly. So conclusions. There's many possible benefits to trying high-tech AAC. You don't know if you don't try. Skills developed through paper-based AAC are a great starting point for developing communication using electronic AAC, and they're also needed frequently for backups. Key considerations. Have they got a huge vocabulary of words that they just can't say? Maybe think about high tech. Do they need a range of vocabulary that needs increasing? What sort of words do they use? Communication functions. What regions can they currently communicate for, and what actually might they want to communicate for in the future? So a little bit about us and how we can help. We are carrying out virtual visits, so try our technology at home. Start by talking to a member of our team and we'll arrange a suitable trial for a device to be sent to you. Once your trial arrives, we will help you set it up with a virtual visit from an assistive technology specialist. You can find the link to this on our website. We also have brilliant support. So we have an all new online training centre, Learning to Edit Grid 3. And this again can be found on our website. We have 24/7 support via social media and 9 till 5:30 phone support with our brilliant support team. The website dashboard is also available should you not want to phone. And there's a free 60-day trial of Grid 3. Also, free 30-day trial of Grid 3 on an iPad. If you would like to phone, then this is the number, and also our Facebook community.